Hello, on the planet and beyond. It's Sade of Between Here and There, LLC, environmental consulting for global hygiene and applications of information technology. We define global hygiene as the cleanliness and the health of the planet. Our main focus right now is the Water Purity Project, cleaning up water systems in their natural systems. Okay, so focusing on rivers, streams, lakes, ponds, etc. Not focusing on the ocean. The ocean is vast. Okay, and so today we want to talk about infiltration. It's a part of the study of hydrology, study of water, and we're going to get into some of the details so you can have a better understanding of what that looks like. I understand when it comes to science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, some people shy away from it because they feel it's complex or complicated. However, there are different building blocks and steps when it comes to these art forms because I find them as art. However, some universities have actually extracted art from the sciences. It's all within the same thing. All of these things exist on the planet as the creator created it to be. The only thing us humans are doing is applying these different formulas, which is a type of language, symbology, etc., to explain it to themselves and to other people. Being able to model the repeat occurrences to say this is exactly what is happening. So, usually it is the understanding of a thing, describing a thing, measuring a thing, temperament of a thing, then its environment of the thing. Okay, so let's say a peach, and we're thinking about pressure and degradation of the peach. Okay, so the peach, we're understanding its composition and the chemicals that are involved with the peach, how much water it consists of, how much copper and iron exists in the peach. And then we further zoom out as far as its environment. Okay, the health of the tree that it's on. Is it even on the tree? Has it been plucked? What area is the peach growing? Is it receiving the right amount of nutrients for it to fully develop? And then there's other things outside of that. How much rainfall is it getting? How much sunlight, etc. So all of those things are naturally existing on the planet. However, us scientists are able to put a language to it to be able to explain to other scientists and other people what is going on, what's happening. And so for this example, that would be something that a farmer will want to know. Like, hey, my peaches aren't growing as large as they should. What can I do? You test that specific subject, you test its environment, and then you're able to incorporate what's needed for that thing, which is a peach. However, we're going to talk about infiltration, okay? Infiltration is water being inserting into the soil, okay? And so there's an infiltration rate. So there's different parts of soil composition that allows water to seep through. The more porous the soil is, think about pores, holes. The more porous the soil is, the more water is able to flow through into the soil. The infiltration rate is the time in which it takes for a certain amount of water to get into the soil. Now, because there's different levels of soil, you have clay, you have more of the basalts, and that comes from like volcanic activity, those very dark soils. They have different porosity levels, and so the soil won't seep into those soils as fast, sometimes quicker than others. Like sand, it's very porous, so the water is able to seep down into the earth a lot quicker. So it's very important when we're thinking about development because on the planet we've done so much development to remove these different layers of soil to where the porosity levels of the current surface is very conjoined. Like there's no pockets in between. So when water comes down, and it's not able to infiltrate, get into the soil, it causes runoff. Okay, so it's running off of the surface of the earth. When it runs off and it collects, you're eventually going into flooding. Okay, and so understanding your infiltration rate of your soil is going to give you key indicators of potential landslides and flooding, okay, as well as runoff, okay. And with landslides, because of the gravitational pull, the pressure, and the weight of the water, and the movement of the water going towards a level that is low, it's a lower in gravity. Okay, so basically, path of least resistance. Think about going downhill. Things want to go downhill versus uphill because it takes more energy. Same with water. So water is going to go down to a lower level to collect, and then over time, those are going to be your flood areas. Okay. So understanding your infiltration rate is going to give you, hey, about we're receiving, say, 2 inches of rain per hour. That's just a example. 2 inches of rain per hour. However, our soil, because it's so degraded, only accepts about an inch of water per hour. So that additional inch is going to collect on the surface of the earth, move in a direction of least resistance, landslides, runoff, and flooding. Okay, those are some of those processes that would happen for areas that don't have a high enough infiltration rate of the amount of rain, precipitation that area is receiving. Okay, so to understand your infiltration rate, you need to understand volume of whatever equipment that you're using. The most simple model would be a cylinder. You can measure the volume of the cylinder. You fill it, you hollow out the bottom. Let me just use this, right? So this is a cylinder, right? You would hollow out the bottom, measure the volume, which I'll get to that formula as well. You measure the volume of this cylinder. You want to tamp it into the ground and be able to fill it with water. Okay, so you've done the measurements. You know how much water it would take. You fill it with water and you time it. How long does it take for that water to go into the ground, to be absorbed, to infiltrate? That is going to be your infiltration rate. Okay, so first we'll start with the volume of a cylinder. So I have a drawing of a cylinder here, same example. Volume of a cylinder is equal to pi times the radius squared times the height. Okay, so pi, let's use another color. Hopefully you guys are enthused. You all are enthused, because my energy is like, it's mellow. It's not super, up there, but it feels mellow, and hopefully it doesn't, I'm not boring y'all. So with pi always represents a circle, and the number pi, 3.14, etc., extending long, is the circumference, which is the area of a circle, divided by the diameter, which is half. Okay, so I'll do another picture so you can see circumference, diameter, and radius. Okay, so we have 3 circles here. This is the circumference. The entire circle is a circumference. The diameter is half of a circle, so it doesn't matter which direction you go, half of the circle. And the radius is half of the diameter, okay? So when we're conducting this measurement, we want to take pi, which is the circumference, the measurement of the circumference divided by the diameter, which is going to give us the same number pi. So pi is used as a symbol because whatever perfect circle is always going to, well, I say perfect circle because circles can be elongated and stretched, but a perfect circle is always going to have the pi number assigned to it. Circumference divided by the diameter will give you 3.14, etc., etc. That is always going to be pi, noting a circle, a perfect circle. Okay, so and then you're taking the radius and you're squaring it, okay? Times the height. The height is going to be here, okay? Top to bottom. Top to bottom, okay? So that is your formula for the volume of the cylinder. So once you get your measurements, you know how much water this specific cylinder contains. This is hollowed out. You're tamping this into the surface. Let me do a drawing so it makes more sense. So basically, this is the surface of the earth. Okay? So this portion is below the earth and this portion is above. And you're going to fill this with water. Okay? So when you fill it with water and you're measuring your time, you're going to know how much water the soil is able to take in over a certain amount of time. Okay? And so we're going to get into the formula of infiltration, which is the height over time, H over T. Okay? And we just found H, which is here. Okay? Infiltration rate is height over time. Okay? So that lets you know how much is going into the soil over time. And so that's going to give you an indicator. Hey, I already know this type of soil can only take in 1 inch per hour. And we're getting 2 inches per hour. So how long is it going to take for us to actually get into flooding conditions? Okay? So you're getting an additional inch. That inch is considered now runoff. It's going to collect. So after that time, it's still 1 below and 1 above. So over time, that spacing is going to get further apart. There's going to be more flood waters collecting, and then there's going to be water that is infiltrated into the soil. And then there's also a capacity of how much that soil can take. So although your infiltration rate could be 1 inch per hour, there's also like almost a cap of how much that soil can take, because again, we have removed a lot of levels of our more porous soil. That's why a lot of topsoil is sold is for purchase. Okay. Because a lot of places they've removed that very nourishing porous soil and distributed throughout other projects. Okay, so what's another I think that's pretty good to understand infiltration rate, volume. Da, 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 da. I think that's it. So wherever you are, you can do this experiment to understand what's going on in your area, and then also put out like a rain catcher to understand how much rain is being collected over, how much rain is landing in your area over time. And so with your initial infiltration rate model, you can say, okay, well, I already know the soil takes 1 inch per hour. Now we're getting 3 inches per hour. Okay, this area is probably going to flood pretty soon. I need to make proper arrangements to um, remove myself from this place, or you know, route some water a different way. So more a different type of irrigation could be modeled, as well as bioswales, which allow water to flow in, and it's a culmination of plants that are able to absorb through their root systems a lot of that water. So I hope that helps. Um, yeah, I just feel mellow today, you all. Not as like I'm enthusiastic, like I'm excited about things, but my energy just feels like really chill. Like there's work to be done. I'm gonna do that. Reserving my energy. Had a good workout today. Uh, yeah. So if you all want to contribute to the Water Purity Project, go on the website betweenhtllc.com and go under support the mission. There are 3 tiers that exist: um, the butterfly, ox, and the dolphin tier, and they do have a specific monetary amount, and that is just to be able to track when it comes to being able to give people back what they pour into the project. However, I will have one that's modeled to where whatever dollar amount, if you just want to, you only have $1 but you want to contribute in some sort of way, there's a way for you to do that as well. Also, to support me as an individual entrepreneur to be able to get out to these sites to compose these things how I am before things are fully functional, rotating, and supported, you can donate to me through Cash App. That is Science Tings, Tings as Tings, and you'll come up under Fola Sade, which is the prefix of my name. You can donate that way, and that just supports me as far as me moving, being at these different locations, the travel, different rates that paying to get to these events, etc. That's what it supports. So anyway, I appreciate your time. Check out Between HT LLC. There will be blog posts posted soon. I need to get a social media team as well. It's one machine running currently. However, moving into July, it looks like we're going to have more people on board to really push this mission forward. So I thank you so much for your time. I thank you so much for being a part of the mission, understanding that we are to be stewards of the planet, as that is the Most High God, the Creator's design. And have a good one. Take care.